Today I'm going to have a very special video because I just got my salts, 5 different types from this company in Iceland. The name of the company is Saltverk. Link in my description if you want to learn more about the company. And I'm going to be reviewing 3 of the salts I got from this company. One I'm going to use in a ribeye, which I'm going to cook on the stove. The second one I'm going to use in a salmon, which I'm going to cook in the oven. And the third one, I'm going to use it in some asparagus, which I'm going to be steaming. And then at the end of the video, because I'm going to show you how to cook each one of these delicious meal very briefly, I'm going to be briefly with. At the end of the video, then I'm going to taste each one of these meals and I'm going to tell you what I think about these salts 100% neutral and honest. And remember, if I can cook it, so can you. So go nowhere. Let's create. So 2 days ago, I got this salt that I ordered. This salt is manufactured from the pristine waters of Iceland. And they were mailed from Maine here in the United States. And I had the Seaweed salt, the Flaky Sea Salt, the lava salt, the Arctic Thyme salt, and the Birch smoked salt. And they're packed very nicely, so they're not going to break. I know that saw some reviews of people, a handful of people complaining about their breaking. I found that doubtful, to be honest with you, the way that they pack this very nicely. So I'm going to try some of this salt as follows. I'm going to cook a rib eye, and I'm going to try the Birch smoked salt on it. I'm going to also cook a salmon, and for this one I'm going to try the seaweed salt. And for my asparagus, which I'm going to steam, I'm going to try the Arctic Thyme salt. So let me start with the salmon and the seaweed salt. The texture is a little bit thicker, which means you're not going to use a whole lot. I'm just going to use a little bit, no pepper, no nothing. Just enough so when I cook it in the oven, it gives me the taste that I want. And I'm going to add a couple slices of lemon and add a little bit of the salt on it. I'm preheating my oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to put a little bit of extra virgin olive oil in my cast iron. This is an antique, over 100 years old. To run it around. And I'm going to add my salmon. Squeeze a little bit of the lemon. A few drops, and just let it cook. About 25 minutes later, you take a look. See how flaky it is? That means that is ready. Took me 25 minutes. For the ribeye, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to be using the Birch smoked salt. But first, because I want this salt to stick, I'm going to put a few drops of extra virgin olive oil. And I'm going to broach it. And I'm going to do the same in both sides. A few drops. Broach it. So make sure you wash your hands. And one thing I noticed is that the salt is easy to crunch in your fingers when you add it. See, I'm crunching it. It's not like the typical salt, sea salt, that when you're trying to crunch it, it's so hard. This one is nice. I have this medium high heat, extra virgin olive oil in my case, and it's very simple. Because of the thickness of the steak, I'm going to cook one side for about 4 minutes. 4 minutes on one side. Look at that beauty. Going to flip it. I think 3 minutes might be sufficient on the other side. Time to get it out. And put it to rest for about 5 to 8 or 9 minutes. For the asparagus, I'm going to steam them. So I have some water and I'm going to put it in this pot. And I'm going to use the Arctic thyme salt, the Arctic thyme salt. This one also is a little bit thick. But before I do that, I'm going to use some duck fat that I rendered a while back. Link in my description. So I'm going to add that duck fat, that duck grease to give it the flavor. And this is what I'm doing here. I'm adding it there. And I'm going to let it melt first. Now that the duck fat has melted a little bit, I'm going to add some of the salt. Let's see what happens. Let it cook. So let's start with the ribeye, which I use my rich smoked salt. Let's see how it tastes. This is actually delicious. This salt is the best salt I have tasted so far. Time to try the salmon, which I use the Seaweed salt. Look how beautiful. It's pretty good too. I should have put a little bit more actually, because the taste is not overwhelming. You know, the taste of the salt. So you can use a little bit more. It's pretty damn good. Let's try the steamed asparagus. For this one, I use the Arctic thyme salt. See how easy they cut. Not bad at all. You know what I'm going to do? Let me add some like this. What I've been cooked. See how it tastes. Very nice, very good. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it.